Seltzer Kings
podcasts.
70,000 people are here, and Bob Dylan is the reason for it.
Inspired by the true story.
For anyone who's going to hold your attention on a stage, you have to kind of be a freak.
Are you a freak?
Hope so.
And starring Timothée Chalamet as Bob Dylan. He defied everyone.
Turn it down!
Play loud!
To change everything.
Make some noise, BD.
Timothée Chalamet, Edward Norton, Elle Fanning, Monica Barbaro. A complete unknown. Only in theaters Christmas Day. Rated R. Under 17, not admitted without parent.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, Mr. Ballinger.
Hey, Michael. And same to you. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Man, it's going too fast, but I'm extremely excited that Christmas is approaching, because what's following Christmas is the New Year. The New Year is going to bring some pretty freaking amazing things, I think. So I'm excited.
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking back a year from today, and I don't recall if we actually knew each other yet.
Yeah.
Or we were just getting introduced by email or text or something. And now here we are.
That's right.
Many episodes into our podcast, and what a journey 23 has been.
I mean, I'm pretty shocked. I was thinking about this morning. I'm pretty shocked that, one, we have recorded the episodes that we've gotten. The events, the in-person events that we've had, to the 2 in-person events that we have. What we've got lined up for 2024. Man, the lineup so far of guests that we have are that's what's getting me all giddy for 2024. So yeah, man, it's been a great start. And the fact that we just started and we fumbled and we're still fumbling and here we are celebrating our Christmas episode with these stupid Christmas Santa hats on. And so, man, it's been good though. I love the fact that we preach just start, and we preach 1% better, and we preach brilliance in the basics. And on this show, we're able to exercise all 3 of those concepts in front of everybody, in front of our listeners. And the feedback I've gotten just from that, just people listening in saying, man, it's so cool to hear you guys talk about you enacting what you actually adhere to, or adhere to what you talk about.
Yeah, we're living out, the advice, the thoughts we share. We apply them to ourselves in what we do day to day, and then we hear some of that echoed from some of the guests that we've had on, and it's us telling our story, now guests telling their stories, and it's resonating with our audience and future potential guests who are reaching out and saying, hey, I love what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
I think you're really hitting on something. I'd be interested in coming on your show and sharing my story. And it's just such a fun process to go through, and gratifying in that the things that we say and that people are listening to is adding value. Because we started, you and I started with the idea of 7 episodes and talking about leadership, which is a topic a lot of folks are talking about these days. And we pivoted, and we saw this sort of market problem, right? Like if we think about it, again, bringing in my product experience, think about the market problem, telling stories, helping support a community who are going through a significant change in their life into their second act, whatever that may be, through this online media world, starting with the podcast, which is a market that's large and growing.
Yeah.
So you always want to be solving a problem in a market that's large and growing. And our solution is to, again, tell our story, what each of us are experiencing, and sharing that, and how we're getting through the day to day, the week to week, the month to month, and then having others join us in that process.
Yep.
And how we differentiate, 20 years in the military for you and 18 years in tech for me. It's an interesting Venn diagram. And for those who aren't familiar with the Venn diagram, it's like 2 circles, maybe 3, and then there's a portion of those circles that overlap and the rest doesn't. So the things that we're sharing, some of that is stuff that we have a lot of similarity around, and people we know who we believe will get value from what we're saying and sharing on the podcast. And then there's very different reach in other areas and very different ideas and thoughts in other areas. So that's how we differentiate, and how I think it's made for a rather interesting conversation. And we started building a great product, the conversation, with Jeremy's help. Like you said, we went through some bumps, and we found our groove in certain ways, and we're starting to expand our horizons and hitting some more bumps, but finding our way.
Yeah.
But we wanted to create a great customer experience through that. We wanted to make the auditory experience really great. For guests, we wanted to make that process as seamless as possible.
Yeah.
And then for ourselves, having this conversation, the things we think about, what we want to share. And all the while, we're thinking about it from a scale perspective, the network effects of things, to lead into what is now coming up quickly, 2024, where we start thinking about it really from the fundamentals of the revenue model and the marketing and all the other components that go into the business.
Yeah.
It's been exciting to apply the things that I've learned over 18 years in a new space, doing new things with someone who wants to travel that road with you, go that journey with you. And I think it would be significantly different if I didn't have a partner like you, John, and like Jeremy working behind the scenes. I can't say, if it would be better, worse, or the same, but I know what we've done together has been really special.
Man, well, I appreciate that. I think in some regards it would probably be better, because you wouldn't have me blabbing over here and breathing into the microphone. But in some regards, you're right. Having a partner, just like a healthy marriage, and to have that person that picks up where you leave off, that finds your weaknesses and can kind of fill those gaps, it makes it tremendously more rewarding. And, thinking back to the episodes that we've had so far, a couple things stick out to me. One is I feel like it is liberating for our guests to jump on and share their transition or their story, how they went from one thing to another, and the successes that followed them, but the difficulties that were in between and the hardships that they encountered. But when they get on, I see them when they're talking about that stuff, it's almost like it gives them a push, puts more wind in their sails, because they start talking about the things that they had to overcome to find the success. And we've talked about that before in the show, about recognizing your shortfalls, recognizing where you didn't succeed, because that is just a building block towards your success. It's just giving you that delayed gratification. And when yesterday we recorded an episode and I heard about some of those struggles, and in our guest, you could see him perking up because he realized what he had overcome and what he had the adversity that he had to manage to get to where he's at now, which is pretty significant. It's a great story. And the second thing that I want to highlight is how many guests have jumped on after they've said, hey, we would like to be on the show, or we've asked them to be on the show, and we've sent them the form and the onboarding form, and they've filled it out, and they've gotten back to us, and they've gone through the process before we get on the actual show. But they have all complimented on how the consumer experience, how easy it is. Yeah. And that's a testament to you and your knowledge, and Jeremy behind the scenes, you guys making that thing, seamless and making it enjoyable. Because I've been on podcasts where I've got to fill out a form and I've got to send in some pictures, and then I have to do some follow-up questions, and it's back and forth. But yet everybody that's been on our show comes on, and before we start talking and hit record, they all say, man, it was so enjoyable just to go through the process to get on the show, and it was very easy. So again, testament to you guys. And it's those little things that I think make us stand apart in some ways. And I'm really proud of where we've come in 2023 and just putting our money where our mouth is and growing this platform, growing the website, growing in our in-person events. You're right. Going, like you said earlier, going to a revenue model, and man, just it's so exciting. But it's been some heartache, but it's been very rewarding. It's been so much fun to do this journey with you and Jeremy, and so extremely grateful. This isn't our Thanksgiving episode; it's our Christmas episode. But again, thankful to have you guys in my corner, and just really look forward to 2024.
This episode is brought to you by AWS. Amazon Q Business is the new generative AI assistant from AWS. Many tasks can make business slow, like wading through mud. Help! Luckily, there's a faster, easier, less messy choice. Amazon Q can securely understand your business data to help you streamline tasks, like summarizing quarterly results or doing complex analyses in no time. Q got this. Learn what Amazon Q Business can do for you at aws.com/learn more.
Yeah, I've been surprised a little bit on what we're capable of as a team and what we've been able to accomplish. The things you described regarding the process with guests and some of their positive feedback. Everybody's working with the same components, but it's removing some of that fragmentation and, like you said, creating some of that seamless process, helping them understand, being transparent about how it's going to work, and what the expectations are, has been really important. And I can't say that we've perfected it, but I can say that it's hopefully above average, and at least based on the feedback we've gotten so far from guests. And we're, again, excited about the lineup for next year. And we've talked about what we're capable of, but you also touched on another important point in that when our guests come on and they're telling their stories all the way back to childhood to what they're doing today. Yeah. I think it's a reminder to them of what they're capable of. Like, they're like, wow, it causes them to reflect and think back at the ups and downs and sideways of life. And they're like, man, I'm really doing something that is good. It's good for society. I feel good. And they're passionate about the project or work or business that they're building, and doing that together, like sharing back and forth through using this podcast as the conduit to do that, has just been, it's who knows where it's going to go from here.
Wow. We're going up, baby. I mean, we may take a step backwards in some regards, but to look back at where we started in our first episode, I listened to it the other day. It was fun. It wasn't that long ago, but we've come a long way just in the way we perform, and ask questions and dig into each other's prompts and the way we just process out the show. And so that's been fun to hear. And so, man, it's again, living it out in real life for everyone else to see, for us to see and document. And I would say that if anybody's got questions regarding their own podcast, regarding their own process, Michael, JB, and I are available. We'd love to help you get started, because that's what this show is about. Whether it's a competing podcast or it's starting your own, entrepreneurial journey or your own venture, whatever it is, we're here to help. And that's an easy comment to leave, and we'll get back to you and just try to give you any advice that we can, because the community here is to help each other grow, help each other navigate those pitfalls and get to success faster and easier because we're doing it together.
I love it. I think that's a great way to maybe end this short holiday mini-sode, John. And again, 2024 is shaping up to be a really special year. I'm super excited to be doing it with you and Jeremy. And if this continues its trajectory, we'll be looking back at the end of 24, talking about more of those wow moments.
Yeah.
So stay tuned, folks.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say one more thing.
Yeah.
Metrics. Get metrics set. Lay them out there. Whether they seem audacious and big and bold, put them out there because look at the metrics that we set out before episode 1. And I remember episode 7, I was thinking, holy cow, there's no way we're going to have that many listeners. We're going to have that many downloads. And, when we hit episode 7 and you're like, man, we're 200% over whatever that metric was, man, unbelievable. And I never would have thought we would have gotten there, but we wrote it down, we pursued it, and we reached it. And again, testament to writing your goals out. And you'll see them fulfilled time in and time again. So,
yeah, I couldn't agree more. Writing the goals out is super important, and don't create an overwhelming list for yourself. Have something that is achievable, is a stretch, but achievable. And the data, the metrics, for sure, we look at them all the time to see how things are performing. To help grow the business. And it's two great points, John.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, now we can wrap. Michael,
now we can wrap. We wish everybody on the show that's listening all the best heading into 2024.
Yep.
We hope we've provided some value to you this year in the listening experience, and we want to continue to do that throughout the rest of next year and beyond.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we will talk to you in 2024 again.
See ya.
See ya.
Seltzer Kings
podcasts.